This is page 1 of your test 2 review for Polyop 1 and 2. Number 1 says convert the function f of x to standard form. Complete the equations below that represents f of x in standard form. So we're going to take a look at our f of x equation that they give us here, and we're going to start off with that square. So that square means that there's 2 of these in parentheses, so x plus 6. That means that there's 2 of those. So what we're going to do is take that, what's in parentheses, and we're going to make 2. So x plus 6 and another x plus 6. So these two are multiplying by each other. So this is like our day that we practiced binomial times a binomial. So what do we do when we multiply polynomials or binomials? We make a box. So we are going to make a box over here. And because we're multiplying 2 binomials, we need a 2 by 2 box. So I'm going to put 2 spaces on the side and 2 spaces on the top. So x plus 6 goes on one side, and because they're exactly the same, there's 2 of them, we're going to do x plus 6 on the top. And now we're just going to take it one by one, multiplying. When it's just x, there's an imaginary 1 here, and there's an imaginary 1 here. So I like to draw that to help me multiply. And we're going to multiply 1 times 1 to give me a 1. X times x gives me x squared. Okay, moving in an L shape, 1 times 6 gives me 6x. So we only had 1x when multiplying those numbers, so make sure you bring that 1x with you here. And then down here, we're going to move in an L shape. 6 times 1 gives me 6 again. And we have 1x, so we're going to bring it with us, just the 1. Last 2 numbers, last box. 6 times 6 is going to give me 36. Once you have your box filled, we're going to put them back in parentheses. So we're not done. We still have numbers out in front and behind. So we're going to take everything inside this box and we're going to put it back inside the parentheses. Okay? And we always start with the highest power. The power is the little exponent. So my highest power here is 1x squared. So for now, we will write the 1x squared. But for our final answer, we never write a 1 next to it. So 1x squared is going to go first. Then we move on to our x's, and I see that I have like terms here. I have a 6x and I have another 6x. So we're going to add our like terms together. 6 plus 6 is 12x. And then in our last box, our last term is 36. It's by itself. No other like terms, so we have plus 36. Now that we have the inside of our parentheses filled again, we're going to include these numbers . We're going to include these numbers back into the place that they were in before. So that 3 is still out front, and that minus 4 is still outside the parentheses in the back. Okay, so we are still simplifying here. And when we have parentheses, that means we have to distribute. So distribute means multiply. So we're going to distribute that 3 on the outside times everything on the inside. So I'm just going to zoom out here and show you my calculator. So we're going to distribute 3 times 1, 3 times 1 to give us a positive 3x squared. You're going to bring that x squared with you. Okay, so we're going to keep those colors the same. And then we're going to distribute 3 times 12. So we're multiplying 3 times 12 to give us a positive 36. So now we have a positive 36x. We're still bringing that x with us. We can't leave it behind. All right, last number inside the parentheses, we're multiplying 3 times 36, which gives us a positive 108. And that stays the same color as well. All right, now that we've gotten rid of the 3 on the outside, all that's left is that minus 4 on the outside over here. So we're going to bring it down, okay? Now that we've distributed, which one of these are like terms with the negative 4? The negative 4 is a like term of positive 108. So we have to add these two together. So what I'm going to do here with my calculator is do 108. You can do minus 4, or which is 104, or you can do 108 plus negative 4. When we combine, we're adding them together. So either way, you get the same answer. It comes out to 104. So that is my final answer. After simplifying it, we have 3x squared. Then we have a positive 36x. And after combining these, we have a positive 104. So here are those final answers simplified. I'm just going to color them. Okay. And that is it for number 1, just converting it into standard form. Number 2 says the function f of x can be written in standard form as f of x, where k represents a number. What is the k value? So we are going to do the same thing that we did for number 1 in order to find that k value. And we're going to start with that square. So remember, that square, that exponent, means that there are 2 of these. So that means that there are 2x minus 8 times x minus 8. Okay, again, this looks very similar to our notes from binomials, multiplying binomials. So when we are multiplying binomials, we have to make a box, and we have 2 times 2 terms. So we need a 2 by 2 box. So 2 spaces on the top, 2 spaces on the side. And they're exactly the same. So we're going to have x and negative 8, and an x and a negative 8. Make sure to include your signs. Okay, and for multiplying purposes, I like to add the 1 here. Alright, and moving in an L shape when we multiply, we're going to multiply 1 times 1, which is 1. X times x is x squared. Make sure to bring both of those x's with you. 1 times negative 8 is negative 8, and we need to bring an x with us. Moving in an L shape down here, we have negative 8 times a positive 1, which is negative 8, and we have to bring that x with us. Last 2 terms, last box, negative 8 times a negative 8 is going to give us a positive 64. And now that our box is filled, we're going to put this back in parentheses. So, because we still have numbers outside that we need to take care of. So we're going to put this whole box back inside of our parentheses, starting with our highest power. So our highest power is going to be x squared. Okay, we're going to put 1x squared for now. Next, we move on to our x's. We have a negative 8x and a negative 8x. So you have like terms here. Those like terms, we need to add them together. So we're going to grab our calculators and we're going to add negative 8 plus a negative 8, which gives us a negative 16x. So we add those like terms together and we simplify that. Our last term in the last box is a positive 64 and it's by itself. So we're just going to add that one on the end over here. Positive 64. All right. So now we are going to add back in these two numbers on the outside because we still need to simplify this and take care of those two numbers. So we have a negative 1/2 in front of our parentheses. And we have a positive 3 on the outside of our parentheses in the back. So now we are going to distribute first and then combine like terms. So these are from your notes. We are going to distribute that negative 1/2 on the outside of our parentheses. So I'm going to have negative 1/2 typed in my calculator times. So we're just going to multiply everything by 1/2. So negative 1/2 times 1, change it to a fraction by clicking this button over here, is still negative 1/2 x squared. We have to bring that x squared with us. So we're going to keep that color the same. Then we're going to multiply again, negative 1/2 times a negative 16. So negative 16. Gives me a positive 8 x. We're going to keep that x with us, so you have to bring it with you. So that color stays the same. Then we're going to multiply negative 1/2 times 64. So change that in your calculator. Positive 64, which gives us a negative 32. No x's when we multiplied, so that color stays the same. Okay. Now that we got rid of the 1/2 here in front, we have to take care of that positive 3 on the outside, so bring it down. Okay, so now we look for which one is the like term for positive 3. It's going to be the negative 32. So these should be the same color. These are like terms, so we're going to add these together. So I'm going to erase my calculator. We're going to take negative 32 plus a positive 3. And it comes out to negative 29. So here's my final answer written, negative 1/2 x squared plus 8x. When we added those last two numbers together, we got a negative 29. Okay, just going to highlight these one last time. Okay. However, this is not my final answer. That's not what I'm looking for. Okay, as you can see, we solved and we got the same numbers here, negative 1/2 x squared. However, we're missing that number here, k. That's what we were looking for. It says, what is the k value? So k is the number next to x. So what is our number next to x, that middle term? This is our k value right here. So k is, your answer would just be the number 8. Moving on to number 3. Says the function f of x can be written in standard form as f of x, where k represents a number. What is the value of k? So again, number 3 is exactly like number 2. So we're looking for the value of k, that middle term. However, we have to turn this into standard form first. So we are going to start with our parentheses, that square. That square means that there are 2 of these, x minus 6. So we're going to take x minus 6 and we're going to do 2, x minus 6. So we have a binomial times a binomial. These are in your notes. when we have a binomial times a binomial, we're going to make a 2 by 2 box. So 2 spaces on the top, 2 spaces on the left. And we're going to place x minus 6 on the side and x minus 6 on the top. Okay, now that we have this set up, we're going to multiply, and remember x is the same thing as 1, so we're going to add our 1s here to help us multiply. Alright, now when we multiply, we're going to move in an L shape, so 1 times 1 is 1. X times x is x squared. And moving in an L shape, 1 times negative 6 is negative 6. And don't forget to bring that x with you here. Moving at the bottom, negative 6 times 1 is negative 6. And we're going to bring that x with us. Last two numbers, last box, negative 6 times negative 6 is a positive 36. So now that we've got our box filled in, we're going to put all of these numbers back in parentheses because we have a number in front and a number behind that we have to take care of still. So we're going to put all of these numbers back inside one parentheses over here. So parentheses. And we're going to start with our highest power. Our highest power is 1x squared. So that's going to go in front. Then our next box says negative 6x, and we have a like term for that, another negative 6x. So we have to combine those. Combine means add, so I'm going to zoom out here for my calculator. We are going to add negative 6 plus a negative 6, which is going to give us a negative 12x. We just added our x's together, so make sure you bring that x with us. And the last term in the last box is by itself, so we're going to do positive 36 over here on the end. Okay? Now that we have all of our terms back in parentheses, we're going to put these numbers back in their place where they were before. So we have a negative 2 out in front, and we have a minus 3 out in the back. Now this looks like our notes from distribute and combine like terms. So first we have to distribute that number on the outside, so that negative 2, I'm going to type that in my calculator, negative 2. We are multiplying this by every number inside, so negative 2 times 1 is negative 2. X squared, we have to bring our x's with us, so x squared comes with us. Then we're going to multiply negative 2 times negative 12. So put that in your calculator, which gives us a positive 24x. Bring that x with you, stays the same color. Last number inside my parentheses, a negative 2 times a positive 36 gives us a negative 72. And it's just a number, no x's, so that number and that color stays the same. Okay, now that we've gotten rid of the negative 2, we're going to take care of that negative 3 on the outside. We're bringing it down. And the like term for negative 3 is going to be negative 72. The ones that do not have x's, these are like terms. So we have to add those two together. When we add them together, we do negative 72 plus, so the way I do it in my class is I like to connect them, my like terms, and put a plus sign in between. I'll even do it on the previous one. Connect them and put a plus sign in between because we're adding them together. So negative 72 plus sign in between, a negative 3. Gives me a negative 75 simplified. So we're just going to rewrite that above. Negative 2x squared plus 24x, and then minus 75 after we simplified it together. So I'm just going to highlight those numbers one more time, keeping all of that the same color. Okay, and your question was asking what is the k value. So if you look at our numbers, we got everything right, that negative 75, that negative 2. So I know that this number is also correct, and that was the missing number I was looking for. K is that middle term next to x. So what is the value of k? My answer would just be the number. The value of k is 24. That is my final answer. Number 4 says which expression is equivalent to this really long one. Okay, so when we solve, we look at one parentheses at a time. Our parentheses here has nothing in front of our parentheses, which means we can just drop them. So I like to cross these parentheses out, which means we're dropping them. Okay. However, this parentheses over here does have something in front. It has a negative in front of my parentheses. So that means that negative is going to change all of these signs inside my parentheses when we multiply. That negative out in front is the same thing as any other number. It's an imaginary 1 there. So we are going to multiply that negative 1 times everything inside. Okay, and I'm going to show you using my calculator that all it does is change the signs. So here's my calculator. We're going to multiply negative 1. We're going to distribute times a positive 3. And all it does is change it to a negative 3. So negative 3 PR. We're going to bring those variables down with us. Then we're going to multiply a negative 1 times a negative 5. All it does is change the sign to a positive 5. DF. We're going to bring those variables down. Last one, we're going to distribute negative 1 times a positive 7, and it changes it to a negative 7 MP. Okay, now that I have gotten rid of both parentheses, we are going to bring all these numbers down. So 4PR plus 5DF minus 12MP. Okay, now that they're all together, we are just going to combine our like terms. So I'm going to start with this first one here, 4PR, and you're looking for another PR to combine it with. Boom. We have negative 3PR. So our like terms we are adding together. I like to connect them and put a plus sign in between. So we will add that. We have a positive 4 PR plus a negative 3, which gives me a positive 1. We can write that for now. A positive 1 PR. That's what we just combined together. Okay, next we're going to highlight the next term, which is 5DF, and so we're looking for another DF, which is here, another positive 5DF. Again, we're going to connect these and draw a plus sign in between. So we have a positive 5 plus another positive 5, which gives me a positive 10DF. Last one, we're going to highlight our last term, which is negative 12MP, and I'm looking for another MP, which is our last term over here. We are going to connect those and draw a plus sign in between. So negative 12 plus a negative 7, which gives us a negative 19 MP. This is my final answer simplified, and we're going to look at our answer choices, crossing out A, C, and we are going to cross out D because that second term is incorrect. Our final answer is B. Moving on to number 5, says which expression is equivalent to this one here. So these two are squished together, which means that these two are multiplying each other. These are binomials, and they're multiplying. So when we multiply binomials, we're going to make a box, and this is 1 term, 2 term, times 1 term, 2 term. So we need a 2 by 2 box. We're going to, doesn't matter which side you put it on. As long as you place your binomials together in whichever side. So I'm going to place 3p plus 2 on the left side, and I'm going to place 4p minus 5 on the right side. P, we're going to bring that one P variable with us over here. Moving down, 2 times positive 4 is a positive 8 P. We're going to bring that P variable. Last two numbers, 2 times negative 5 is going to give me negative 10 in this last box. Okay, so now we are going to take all of these numbers inside the box and put them outside. So 12p squared is my highest power. So that's going to be written first. 12p squared. Looking at my answer choices already, I can eliminate C. Moving on to my next boxes, I have a negative 15p. And I have a like term here, a positive 8p. So that means you have to add those like terms together first to simplify it. So we're going to do negative 15 plus a positive 8, which is a negative 7p. We added our p's together. So looking at my answer choices, I cannot eliminate anything so far because A, B, and D look good. Last term, last box, I have a negative 10 by itself. So looking at my answer choices now, B is the only answer choice possible. Last question on page 1 says which expression is equivalent to. So we are doing the same thing. When they're squished together like this, that means we are multiplying each other. And we have a binomial, 1, 2 terms, times another binomial. So that means I need a 2 by 2 box like we did in number 5. So we're going to make our box here. Two spaces on top, 2 spaces on the side. Doesn't matter which side you put them as long as you put them together. So I'm going to put this one on top just to switch it up. We're going to put 7x minus 2 on top. Make sure you put your signs. And we're going to put 3x plus 3 on the side. Now we're just going to multiply in an L shape. So 7 times 3 is going to give me a positive 21x squared. We have x times x, which gives me that x squared. 3 times negative 2 is negative 6. x. We're going to bring that x with us here. Moving down, 3 times 7 again is going to give me a positive 21. X, got to bring that x with us. And last term, last box, 3 times negative 2 is a negative 6. Now that we have our box filled, we're going to take it and write it out simplified, starting with our highest term, our highest power, which is 21x squared. Looking at my answer choices, I can eliminate C because it is written incorrectly. So we're going to take that one off. And then we're going to move on to our negative 6x. And we have a like term for that, which is 21x. So that means we have to add our like terms together. So pull out your calculator and add them up. We have 21 plus a negative 6, which gives us a positive 15x. So let's look at our answer choices. And D is the only correct answer choice that we could select. But I'm just going to finish writing out my last term. That last term is negative 6, which is by itself at the end over here. And so D is, again, the only correct answer choice here.